even though there's a big part of me that one, desires to please God in all that I do, it is a bit frightening. We don't talk about the fear of the promise, the fear of the breakthrough. Sometimes that's the worst fear than the actual trial of, like, people have a fear of winning, believe it or not. Like, there's a real fear of winning and being successful, because success, that comes with turmoil, chaos, trials that are beyond your wildest, your wildest, things that you could ever even think of. So, like, a lot of times we have a fear of winning, or just a fear of the promise. And I know for me, I'm gonna say this: whenever some people sometimes speak things over me, I'm like, you you sure? Like, me? Like, like, I know. I mean, like, I think I'm a decent guy, but you sure I'm supposed to do all of that? But God is like, yes, like, like, he doesn't he doesn't call to qualify. He qualifies the call. So I do think that if we did know the mountains, and I'm gonna say the mountain of success, not even the mountains of trial. If we knew the mountain of success that was to come, a lot of us would run. Welcome to the Easy Talk Show, the show where you'll get nourishment for your needs, food for your soul, and healing for your wounds. I am your host, Easy Ward, and this has been a long time coming. This has been something that has been in the works for a long time. A lot of people have been asking me, like, why now? What's this about? And man, what I can say is this: this is a culmination of everything I've done over the last 4 to 5 years of my life. Many of you know, if you're new to Easy Ward TV, by the way, that's a shameless plug. Like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube. But no, if you are new to Easy Ward TV, you know that, I've been doing Game of Faith podcast that started in 2018, and that platform was solely created to tell stories of other young adults who were, searching purpose, living in their, purpose, and really walking out their Christ-given, identity, as a young adult in today's culture. And then I transitioned, my brother said it, we co-founded More Faith in 2020. We're still doing it now, but that we did it at the height of the pandemic, having, a weekly Bible study, sharing, giving people a platform who didn't always have a platform, giving a voice to the voiceless. And now, I started Easy Talks in 2022. I started just creating these videos and just messages that I believe God was sharing on my heart. But I got to a place where, I really wanted to take it a step further. Everything about me is about, evolution, growth, constantly, taking it to the next level. And I was like, you know what? I want to give you guys a show. I want to give it, a whole experience. I'll still be doing my talks, weekly, but I also wanted to elevate the brand and give it a new feel, something that's, new, exciting, raw, very authentic, genuine conversations. And that's what Easy Talks is. The Easy Talk show will be a show of truth, authenticity, Christ-given, practical, insight and steps, wisdom, also, intellectual conversations. So I'm excited. There will be guests, there will be segments where we have different guests, have people to come on and share, their story as well. But I did want to start out, with you guys, hearing from me first, hearing the why now, and just, what you can expect from me, which, so, man, I'm here with my producer, Dan. We locked in at an undisclosed location. I can't tell you, where we at, but just know, we cooking up, and man, I'm gonna just get right into it because I got a topic today that I want to talk about, and it's something that I've been really, really meditating on, even in myself, and it's a topic of being, wandering in the wilderness, right? And I know many of you are asking, like, what does that mean? What is he even talking about, wilderness? And the wilderness, is a season or a place where you are, a lot of times you're in that season by yourself. It's a season of isolation. It's a season where your character is being tried, where you're being humbled, where you're being cultivated, and really, pruned to be the best version of yourself. A wilderness for you could look like, you being in a place where Everybody else is getting breakthroughs, but you. Your job could be giving you hell. You could be in a relationship where, the spark has went away. You could be a person that's, starting a business, and you're not seeing any success from that business. And the wilderness is a place where you're at, and it's tough. It's trying. It's difficult. It is, it requires you to persevere. And today, I just want to give somebody some encouragement to really speak life into you, to know that one, this season isn't forever, but I do want you to realize that separation is necessary for elevation. So, when you're separated from your peers or from people, that's a requirement, a prerequisite for elevation. And also, elevation requires separation. When a plane is getting ready to take off from the ground, right? There's oftentimes, turbulence that happens before that plane gets ready to get in the air. And sometimes, what's naturally happening is that the gravitational pull is trying to pull it back down to the realm that it was on. And for a lot of you watching this video right now, you're in a season where you're getting ready to take off, but before that takeoff, before that promised land season, you're in a wilderness. You're in a season of, it's dark, it's lonely, it's cold. You feel like you're by yourself. You feel like you have no one to talk to. You feel like you have no one to even, relate to you. And I'm in that season as well right now. For me personally, I'm in a season of transition where, these days I'm not having the same conversations I once was having, with my peers. It's not that I'm better than anybody, but it's just that for where I'm headed, I can't have the same level of fruitless conversations in this season. So like right now, I'm in a place where if it's not fruitful, then like I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm legit cool. I don't, I can't indulge in things that don't pour into me, that don't speak life into me. So, I want to encourage you right now, and that if you're in a season of transition, you're believing God for more. You're believing that your breakthrough is coming. It is coming. But just know that, this season, it's not the end. It is not your final destination. It's just a stopping point. It's a point to humble you, to prune you, to make sure that your character is being developed. So stay encouraged. But also too, I want to give you a few practical tips or just things that I believe will help you get through this season. So one is this: community is necessary in the wilderness, right? Being around the right people. So when you are going through a season of wilderness, like I said, it is lonely, it is isolating, but there should be people that you can, one, go talk to, one, communicate with, and be able to just share, just some of the pitfalls, that you could be experiencing in that season. So, the first thing is community, right? You need to be around the right people who can speak life into you, who can tell you like, listen, easy, or such and such. This is not the end. This is just a stop through right now. You're going to get through this. I know for me, I have a select few people that I can talk to about, what I'm going through, how I'm navigating these tough waters in this season. And second is limiting, the outside distractions around you. I think a lot of times when we're in seasons of trial and tribulation, we often we have outside noise that really influence you. And the wrong negative influences can really, take you off course even more. So if you're already in a season that's tough, that is already, taking you off course, listening to the wrong music, being in the wrong environments, these are all things that can send you off course. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. For me, it's a lot of I love trap, I love rap, I love hip hop, I love it, like I do. But in certain phases of my life, I kind of gotta decrease how much I listen to some of that stuff, because sometimes it doesn't play it. The undertone of the music has a negative ethos, and that ethos puts me in a headspace that's almost like, yo, I'm never gonna get out of here, So it's like you gotta watch what you listen to or watching who you're talking to. These are all things that play into the influences, on your mind, body, and spirit. And next is you gotta stay persistent and locked in on the promise, focus on the promise, but also be present in the moment. So it's important for you, if you're in a season of wilderness, to know that this is not your end, and God does have a promise for you, but you got to be present in the moment, and you got to practice, which is the last thing, is being grateful and thankful for, for what he's already done. A lot of us, we're so hung up on the destination, where we're trying to go, where we're trying to get to, that we don't take time to really realize what God's already done. So for anybody out there watching right now, I would encourage you to be encouraged that right now, this is not your end. This is not your end. This is only the beginning of what's to come in your life, and your breakthrough is on the way. But this season of wilderness, or this season of loneliness, or this season of isolation you could be in, it's not the end. It's only the beginning. So, I want to encourage you to stay focused. Believe that there's more for you, and also practice practice gratitude. Be thankful. The Bible talks about being thankful. And being content. And whatever season you're in. So be content, be grateful, and know that God is working on your behalf. Be encouraged, and we'll talk soon. This is Easy Ward, and once again, this is a show where you're going to get nourishment for your needs, food for your soul, and healing for your wounds. If you got questions, about episode 1, anything that you want feedback on, anything that you want to hear me cover going forward, in episodes to come, please DM me at EasyTalks, easy.talks. Once again, that's easy.talks at Instagram. And also, follow me on YouTube, at Easy Ward TV. Once again, that's YouTube, Easy Ward TV. Like, comment, subscribe. And once again, if you got any questions on there as well, feel free to put them in the comments, and I'll respond as soon as possible.
I have some questions that I wrote down.
Okay, talk to me.
One question is, you talked about practicality, and you talked about how finding people are important. What are some ways, or where can we find community, especially when it's hard out here? Or you talked about the influence of the surroundings of rap, hip hop, that also has their places and environments and communities, such as like clubs, et cetera, et cetera. How do we find community in our tough seasons that will guide us to, I guess, a more righteous lifestyle?
Man, that's a great question. And so, one, for anybody out there looking for community, or really, you're looking for somebody to be able to pour into you, I would start one, just look at your inner circle, right? I think a lot of us, we know that we have certain friends we can talk to about certain things, right? Naturally, you have some friends who you can't share the same thing to everybody. And you have to, be able to differentiate, your friendships. Certain friends you can talk to about certain things that, a bit more heavier. Certain friends, the relationship may be a bit surface level. And when I say surface level, it may not have the depth of the other relationships. So like, you may be able to talk to this friend about sports, maybe things going on in pop culture, but you need a friend who can legit pray for you and speak over you in times of turmoil. So, one thing I would recommend is like, start with evaluating your circle where you are. So like, before even going out to find a community somewhere else, look in your inner circle, and I believe that we all know who those friends are. It might only be one person, maybe two max, but you should have at least like two people that you can call and say, hey, you know what? I need some prayer. Or like, I'm going through this, bro. I got to get this off my chest. Can I just talk to you? I just need somebody to be a listening ear. So I would say that I'm going to always recommend your local church. Find you a men's group, find you a women's group. Those are great places to find people who are like-minded, trying to grow. And those are places that I would start with if I was trying to find community right now.
Good, man. Another great thing you talked about, bro, was wilderness. Like, just that was the term that stuck out to me. So in this season, I guess, what does the wilderness look like to you?
Yeah, so bro, for me right now, and I'm gonna speak, a bit transparent here. For me, the wilderness is this. I'm in a season where I'm in a transition, on my job. I may be getting ready to get, to a new position or just a new role, because there may be a reduction in where I'm currently at now. So for me right now, navigating that level of uncertainty and not knowing what's to come on the other side of that, is having me rely on God and really use my faith to a whole new level. And I think for me right now, I've had to exercise and live out my faith publicly and out loud. Even while sharing this, like this is not comfortable for me talking about this, but I know that it's necessary because I firmly believe, and I'm going on record saying that like what's on the other side is going to be far greater than anything I could ever imagine. But I got to go through this season of isolation, being pruned, being character developed, so that I can get to the promise. So that's what this looks like for me right now in this current season.
To that point with the wilderness, I think a lot of times people get caught into it's important to understand that the terrain and the wilderness that you once came out of might not look the same in this season. You got the desert, you got the rainforest, you got the Iceland.
That's good.
You got a grassland. Each one of these things have their own monsters, their own animals, their own predators, and requires you to move a certain way or wear a certain type of clothing in order to sustain that throughout the season. God also might show up differently depending on what terrain you're in. And I think a lot of times people will look at their past battle wounds. It's important to recognize that you got through the desert. But moving forward, I think a lot of times us as Christians sometimes lack faith because we don't know how are we gonna get over this mountain?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
I ain't seen this mountain before.
Yeah.
This is something a whole different.
We don't. Way. Yeah, and that really requires you to exercise your faith on a whole new level. Like you have to be able to, like when you don't know what's on the other side, and that's where I'm at right now. But that's why God really calls us to live a life, that's pleasing to Him. And I believe that when you're seeking God consistently, praying in your word, doing your journal and, doing your devotions, He'll give you a peace, that surpasses all understanding. So I want to read a verse to you guys that I think is extremely fruitful and something that's been really speaking to me in this season is Deuteronomy 7, I think. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, it is. Here we go. Actually, it's Deuteronomy 2, verses 7, the NLT version. For the Lord your God has blessed you in everything you have done. He has watched your every step through this great wilderness. During these 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you, and you have lacked nothing. And that's Deuteronomy 2, verse 7. And I think that verse kind of speaks to what we're talking about, Dan, in terms of like, even though you're in the wilderness, just know that you've lacked nothing. Like you may not be where you want to be.
That's good.
You may not be where you want to be, but God has kept you covered this entire time. And for me, I've been meditating on that verse a lot lately because Dan, really, like I'm so ambitious. I'm like, God, well, I don't have this yet, or I haven't gotten to this level yet. And He's like, my son, I've kept you this entire time. Like I've been with you, this entire time. So just know that if you're in it right now, He's got you this entire time. You won't lack anything. So, I just want you all just to be encouraged.
Yeah. When it comes to the ambition part as well, if we knew the full journey, if we knew it was a mountain coming, how many of us would turn around and run? Because that would scare us.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we get things in nooks and crannies and small bites.
Yeah, and bits and pieces.
Right.
Yeah. So, man, I'm going to tell you this. I think we would all run if we knew the magnitude of what God has in store for all of us and the trials that it would take to get there. But I actually think we would run if we knew all that He wanted us to do. Because I know for me in my life, sometimes like just the things that I've been spoken, like people have spoken over me or I've had dreams about, even though there's a big part of me that one, desires to please God in all that I do, it is a bit frightening. We don't talk about the fear of the promise, the fear of the breakthrough. Sometimes that's the worst fear than the actual trial of, like, people have a fear of winning, believe it or not. Like, there's a real fear of winning and being successful, because success, that comes with turmoil, chaos, trials that are beyond your wildest, your wildest, things that you could ever even think of. So like a lot of times we have a fear of winning or just a fear of the promise. And I know for me, I'm gonna say this. Whenever some people sometimes speak things over me, I'm like, you you sure? Like me? Like you like I know. I mean, like I think I'm a decent guy, but you sure I'm supposed to do all of that? But God is like, yes, like like He doesn't he doesn't call to qualify. He qualifies the call. So I do think that if we did know the mountains, and I'm gonna say the mountain of success, not even the mountains of trial. If we knew the mountain of success that was to come, a lot of us would run.
That was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, but that's perfect. And we'll talk soon. This is Easy Ward. This is a show where you'll get nourishment for your needs, food for your soul, and healing for your wounds. It's Easy Ward, and as always, love Easy. I'll see you soon.